Hello, everybody, and welcome to my new episode. And you guys, I think my cheeks are turning red because I'm so excited for my guest today. I have one of my favorite people from Survivor China. You guys give it up for Sherea Lloyd, the challenge beast from the John Who Tribe.
So happy to be here with you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, we made it happen.
Okay, I have to ask something. So the other survivors that I've talked to prior, they've all kind of said like the same thing. Is there a day that goes by that you think about that you don't think about Survivor? Because they all say they still think about it every single day, at least one moment from the show.
Really, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
every day, but I would definitely say there's still moments or glimpses that are like prominent in my mind, depending on what's happening for sure. And I would say there was a period where it was like it's afterthought for me, but now it's kind of like maybe it was season 50, just kind of getting that re energy again. And so I definitely do think about it often because I'm coming across it on social media all the time too.
Did you watch season 50?
I did.
Like, do you still watch all the seasons, like all the shows?
I do typically watch all the seasons. There's a blur between like 46 to 48 or so, but yes, I still watch. I'm still a fan.
Yes. Season 50 was so good. I
It
thought it
was.
was so good. I
It
thought the
was. It
winner
was.
was great.
I did. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing like just the growth from the players. But it was a good season for me because I would say the season before that I was telling somebody like I couldn't do the 90-minute episodes. It was too long. They were losing me. But this kind of, was a renewed energy this season for sure.
Yes, I actually love how the episodes are so much longer because I feel like it
Mhm.
would develop people's storylines. But back in my day, it was like the 40-minute episodes without
Mhm.
commercials. And
Yes.
so that's what I'm used to. Because the long
Hmm.
episodes, it is a journey if you're trying to binge the whole season.
Absolutely. Yes, if you're binging for sure.
Yes, like when I'm trying to get my friends onto Survivor, they're like 90 minutes. I'm
It's
like,
a long time.
yeah. And I'll be even trying to get them into Big Brother. And I'm like, if they can't
Hmm.
do 90 minutes, I don't think they can do 3 days a
And
week.
that's actually my favorite show.
You like Big Brother?
Love Big Brother. Love it.
Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
it comes on soon on the 9th.
Cannot wait. Yes.
I know it's all over Twitter. I'm so like
Hmm.
just people's speculations. I heard
Yes.
it might be a newbies versus vets season
Ooh, that
going
would be
on.
so fun.
I know I love Big Brother, but I would much rather do Survivor than Big Brother.
Oh, I mean, now that I give you, I would never do Big Brother, I don't think, but it's
Yeah.
still I love to watch.
Yeah. Like it's so fun.
Hmm.
Now, did you seek out Survivor or did they find you?
I would say it was more of a found me-ish, but the way it worked was I had a friend who I went to college with, and he knew someone in casting, and they still hadn't finished kind of filling their quota. And so he reached out to me and a couple of friends, and I just so happened to actually watch the show. So when he was like, "Do you want to be on Survivor?" and I was like, "I mean, you never really think you're going to get it,"
Yeah.
and then the ball just kind of kept rolling, and it just happened very fast.
Yeah. Do your casting, did you see like a lot of people that like did you make like any kind of like eye connections with anybody during casting that ended up on the show with you?
The only person that was there for my casting was James. And I don't remember us making eye contact, but I remember seeing him very often during our casting process.
Is he like massive in person? He looks like a gladiator on TV.
He is absolutely massive in person. Yes, yes, he's a
Yes.
big guy.
Do you know that show Arrow with Stephen Amell?
No, I haven't seen it. I heard of that.
He's like a superhero type guy.
Okay,
I
is
met
that what
him at a
James looks like?
convention. Yes, I met him at a convention and he was like
Uh-huh.
really stealthy on the show, or he was like really like, on the show. But then when I
Yes.
met him, I was like, you look so stealthy in person. And he was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. No,
stealthy? What
James,
does
he's
that
a
mean?
big guy for sure. What you saw was exactly what he was.
Yes. And he was definitely body goals. I'm like, please, I need to get to the gym and do something with my
Don't we all?
life. But he was pushing those trees down. I can't even walk to the
Yes,
mailbox in
yes.
peace.
I mean, he was a grave digger, so he had to get down. So
Oh
he
my
had
God,
to be
you're
built for it.
right. I forgot about that. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I think y'all's cast was like one of the best casts they've ever had.
I think it was very diverse, actually, for what it was at that time. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And we all just came from such different backgrounds.
Yeah, because I back then, like I know the casting like typically wasn't as diverse as it is now because they don't do the
Hmm.
50-50 thing like they do
Right.
now.
Hmm.
So I would always root for people that were like a little bit different on the show and stuff like that. Cause like I myself, I'm like, I'm half Asian. So I'm like always like try
Hmm.
to root for the minorities. I'm like, let's do it, you guys.
Yes,
There's only like
yes,
two
yes.
of
Exactly,
us.
exactly. Yeah, definitely. That's what I meant by like hadn't filled their quota yet at that time. So that's why I feel
Oh
like,
Lord.
yeah, I kind of came in late to the process, but it happened very fast for me.
So from the time that you started your casting till the time you got the official yes that you were on the show, like how long was that?
3 weeks.
Ooh,
And
three
then yeah,
weeks.
3 weeks probably from the time I started till I got, and then maybe 4 to 5 China. Might have been less than that. It was very fast.
So because it was like super fast, was it easy to get everything in your life in motion before you left to make sure everything was squared away before you left?
Well, I would say this. I had a good friend and family support system that really helped me get everything squared away really fast. And because people ask me all the time, would you do it again? I'm like, I would, but it's like the stars have to align. And I feel like at that time, everything aligned for me at the perfect
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to be on Survivor and
Hmm.
I've applied a few times, but I've never got a call back. So CBS casting,
Yes,
what's
you never
happening over there?
know.
No, I literally walked into my boss's office about a week and a half ago and I was like, I've always wanted to be on Survivor. Would y'all fire me if I got
What they
casted?
say.
And they were like, no, you wouldn't get fired. And I was like, can I get that in writing?
Exactly. Just in case. So when it does happen, you know you still have a job.
Yes. So how like what was the feeling when you found out you were going to China instead of like a beach or anything else?
I think it was like just nervous excitement and really not knowing what to expect. I felt very naive going out there, I'd say. But it was just a journey and excitement that you're just like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, let's just see what it is.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
guys have any speculations of where you might be going and before you found out it was China?
No, I will say I didn't. I had no idea. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't even remember if they told me when I was in casting. I don't think it was till like right after when they confirmed that I made it when they called me, and that's when they were like, "You're going to China."
Yeah. Do you like the fact that your season was one of the like kind of OG with casting with only being 16 people, or do you wish you guys had more people to work with? Or was
No,
16
I
okay?
love that we had 16 people. I love our location. It was so different. I loved everything about it. I think that's what's so special about the OG seasons.
Yeah, because like I do like everybody in your cast is so good, even the ones that got on my nerves.
Who
I
were
like
those?
they who are they? Oh my
Uh-huh.
goodness. Okay, so no shade because I'm sure you're a great person today, but on the show, John Bear got on my nerves. Oh
He got on my
Lord,
nerves.
Dave got on my
Got
nerves.
on my nerves.
And I think who else? Because I got the whole cast picture right here. Really, those are the two that got on my nerves the most. Because I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Because
Sounds
like I
about
remember
right.
in your camp, like Dave always wanted to like work, 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 and let's clean, clean. I'm like, you are outside. What is there to clean? Like in the
Exactly. And
mud.
you see how it came out. Like he was too busy expending his energy in camp, and then we get to a challenge and he had no energy.
Yes.
Hmm.
Like that scene where you're like, don't walk up on me again. I'm like, oh my God, that is
Yes.
so
Like,
me.
I mean, like, relax. Just relax.
Yeah. So like I feel like on the show they showed like a lot of like your tribe. I feel like they
Mhm.
showed like a lot of like maybe like not the happiest camp vibe situation, but y'all
Mhm.
did have some good times out there, right? Like y'all
I
had
think we
some fun, right?
absolutely had some good times. I think we vibed for sure. Like you can see from day one, we're out there dancing and trying to get to know each other. So I think it was more good vibes than it was bad.
Yeah. When they did the switch, when you and Frosty went over to the other tribe, did you feel betrayed at all that he voted against you to vote you out? Or did y'all not did y'all have like a tight connection to begin with?
I feel like we weren't that tight in that moment. So no, I didn't really feel bad. He wasn't one that I was kind of like, dang, you know what I mean? I mean, you feel it because it's like your time, you know what I mean? But you get it. He's like he's there for himself. Like he clearly built some other bonds that I hadn't built yet with him. And so I wouldn't say I necessarily felt betrayed, but I just knew that that switch is really what was the demise of my time out there.
How devastating was it to be one spot away from jury? Because as a viewer, I was so you were so close.
Hmm. I will say it was the catch 22. It's like on one side, it was like a sense of relief, right? You're like, whew, I'm done. And then you get this other amazing experience, which is to travel around China, being pre-jury or whatever. And then the other side is like, you were so close. Like, dang, I just like, what could I have done just to make it to that one more, vote?
Yeah. When you guys got to after y'all got to the temple and like got finished with that and y'all were split into your teams and y'all
Hmm.
were handed like your art of war, did anybody on your team actually read that and see like what it was all about?
Yes, and we actually got the Art of War too prior to going out there. So that was kind of part of our
Ooh.
prep was to read it. So I know that I did read some of that before going out there. And I'm sure some other ones did as well.
How long was actually that temple ceremony? Because on the show they made it seem like it was just a few minutes, but how long was it?
It felt like over an hour or two for sure, because I mean, it was a process of like getting up the steps, going in there. So it was a while, definitely longer than, of course, what was seen on there. But I mean, and you're in there on your knees and it's hot and it probably felt longer than it was, but it wasn't just a few minutes.
Yeah. Was there
Mhm.
anybody on John Who that you wish would have ended up on your tribe? that when you
Mm.
saw the initial split on that first day and you were like, oh man, I wish they were on my team with me.
Oh, Aunt Jones, who or Fei Long, you mean?
From Fei Long.
From Fei Long?
Yeah.
Probably Todd. Yeah, definitely Todd for sure. He would have probably been one of the only ones at at that moment, I should say.
He was one of the ones where like I just knew he was a gamer watching the show. Like from that, I just he gives like Survivor Major fan vibes.
Yes, and he was a student of the game. Like he knew it inside and out. And it's so crazy to think like we were just season 15 at that time. So I can only imagine those who are watching now all 50 seasons, like what they know about the game. It's pretty crazy to think that people like really study it.
I know it's like really evolved over time because like y'all's was like it showed like your camp life, the
Hmm.
personal relationships and things like that. But like now it's like strategy the whole time. And if you miss anything, you've missed. I mean, you got to keep up with the show now.
You really do. And I feel like that would be like the hardest part for me going back out there now, just playing at that fast pace, because somebody did say it on this past season of 52. It's like back then it was about the camp life plus challenges, plus who you are as a person. Now it's like strategy and challenges, and that's it, you know? And those other elements were so important and they were like really made or could make or break, your game at that time.
On y'all's very first night when you got to your camp that first night, did y'all not actually like sleep anywhere? Because the show made it seem like y'all stood under that sign the whole night.
Huh, that was like the worst. No, we did sleep. We just didn't have our shelter up, so we slept on the ground. We just found like a little place that was probably like the driest there for us to sleep, but it definitely was not in our shelter yet on the first night.
Was it like really a power struggle between like PG and Chicken? And like, was Dave involved in that with like who wants to like really push how the shelter should be built and stuff like that?
Yeah, so actually what's funny is I feel like Chicken was much more laid back the first night or two, which is what we were kind of said. And I don't know how much of that was shown at the time. He told us like his background, he could do all these things, but he wasn't giving us the help that we needed to get the shelter at that time. And it was like, wait, you know what to do, but you're not telling us how to do it. And then I felt like Dave's was he just kind of came and hit the ground running. So I think he had more of that power struggle, him and PG at first, more so than Chicken, because it was Chicken, it was just like, so you're just here watching us, but you're not doing.
Who did you know right away was like, these are my people. Like I just connect with you. I get like you get me, I get you. We can vibe together.
Jamie for sure. Who else? I'm missing somebody. Gosh. Ashley, Jamie, Ashley for sure. I think we vibed just from the moment we got out there. And then Frosty was very cool too, and so was Eric. Eric was just quiet at first, so it took a little while to kind of warm up to him. But I think as us as the women, and Peachy was right there with us. She was just really ready to like work, and we were really ready to get to know each other first. So I think we just kind of had
Yeah.
opposites there. But for sure with Ashley and Jamie, like it was like immediate.
Did when you guys voted out Ashley, did she know she was getting voted out that night? Because it seemed like it was so hard for y'all to do it.
It was very hard. And yes, she asked us to do that for her. She was sick. She was not feeling good. She just was not in it. And so that was part of the decision, of why we did vote her out. So it wasn't a surprise.
After you guys had gotten down to five, after you had gotten rid of Dave, and it was the five of you guys, if there had not been a tribe swap and say John Who lost again, do you think they would have voted you out at that point? Or do you think it would have been somebody else since because it seemed like you and Jamie were tight, and then
Mhm.
I believe Eric was in that too.
Mhm.
So would it have been the three of you guys stick together, or do you think they would have gotten you out? Because it was between like you and Dave, the one before.
Yes, I would like to think that by that time, I would have kind of solidified myself in that group, or at least been able to kind of talk my way into it. I really don't know, but I feel like it would have been possible for me to keep myself at that point, especially after kind of showing up in the challenges the way I did.
Yeah, because you really gave it your all in the challenges. Like you were like, I feel like you were your tribe's like challenge beast.
I feel like I did. I mean, it was exhausting, but I know for me, I'm just very competitive and like wanted to win as well. And so I knew that that was also my moment to shine versus camp, life, which wasn't like for me for per se. But I also really enjoyed like the challenges that we had too.
Yeah, because like whenever you guys are in your challenges, and this is for like any survivor, I'm like,
Mhm.
how do y'all even have the energy to do this? Because it's like supposed to be in the 90s here, and I'm in Tennessee, like in
Mhm.
Nashville, and
Yeah.
it's like so hot outside. I only
It's
wore this jacket
mine.
to feel kind of cute today, but for
Listen,
my video,
it's mind over matter. That's really what it is. I think that's the biggest lesson from the game that I got out there too, is like whatever you put your mind to, you can do.
yeah.
Because there were some moments where, I mean, who knew that we were going to make it through? I mean, we were the first, I think, season 2 to get water behind the scenes as well.
Oh,
because it was so,
really?
yeah, because it was so hot out there. And I think I had passed out after one of the challenges, but it really is just mind
Wow.
over matter and willpower.
Wait, which challenge did you pass out after?
It was the one where we had to chop and then you had to like pull, I don't know what you call it. It was like the stack thing, but it was
Oh,
do you
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
when Courtney, her hands, they were like bloody from chopping?
Yes.
It was that challenge.
Oh, poor Courtney.
Hmm.
I loved Courtney from your
Yes,
season.
girl.
I just love everybody from your season. Like I just
Yes.
talked to Leslie recently,
My
and she was
girl.
such a gem. Like
Hmm,
she's
she
so
is.
nice. Todd's coming on
Yes.
soon,
Okay.
and I'm so excited. He's making me the pops that he makes. I'm so
Oh,
excited
they're
to get
so
those.
cute. Yes,
You have
yes.
one of you?
Yep. And I just did their podcast a couple weeks ago with them, so it was so good to kind of just reconnect with them.
I know I saw because I wanted to
Mhm.
prepare for this one because I didn't want to ask the
Yeah.
same questions over,
Hmm.
but I didn't know that there was I learned a lot because I didn't know when you went to Ponderosa. What was it? You were also sick too after the show?
So mine was more sick stomach issues than sick. Yes. So like everybody, I feel like comes off with some type of ailment. So yeah, we were. It was bad afterwards.
Yeah. How hard is it when you get off the show and then you get back home? How
Hmm.
hard is it to keep a lot to yourself because you can't reveal too much about the show? But inevitably, I feel like even though they probably tell you guys you're not allowed to, inevitably, I feel like everybody, you have to tell somebody about your experience.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I told more people that I was going versus what happened each week. Because I felt like my friends and family didn't want to know because they wanted to watch it with me and experience it with me. Whereas I had to kind of lie before going out there. And I was like, hey, I'm going to teach abroad for 6 weeks in China or something like that. And people were like, okay. So I felt like that was harder for me than actually kind of keeping the show part to myself.
Were you happy with the edit that you got watching it back with your family and friends?
I mean, I was not happy. I think the biggest piece was like the lazy part, but like I know who I am and I knew that at least I brought it in the challenges. And so anybody that knows that it's like, okay, well, then she has a reason to kind of be quote unquote lazy, but it wasn't about being lazy. It was really that I'm exhausted. I have nothing to give physically right now because there's no food. And then also, what do I need to be doing around camp that I'm not doing? Like I can go get firewood, right? I
Yeah.
can go get the basic things, but I don't need to build a table and I don't need to keep seashells and things like that to make camp life, more pleasant.
Yeah. Like,
So
what did
my
you
edit, it
guys
was, it was fine.
like? How did you guys like get through the day? Because each day has to feel like an eternity without anything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think like every 3 days is going to be a challenge, or it's going to, or we have the where somebody's going to be voted out. So you kind of keep your mind on those things that are happening. And then it really was a lot of just nothing, like laying around. And that's where it comes like, okay, every day you're going to go get firewood. You're going to boil some water. You're going to have some rice, right? And so it became very kind of routine. But then a lot of the times it's just kind of talking, getting to know each other. And then the strategy starts to kind of come into that as well. But I think you just kind of, we had this like, no, every 3 days, like here's the clock that's coming. And so you just kind of go from there.
was there like a really fun moment that you shared with the people that you got along with on the show, like on your tribe,
Mhm.
John, who that didn't make it to the show, but it's something you distinctly remember, like a really fun time that you guys had, like a fun memory?
Well, I think the fun memories that we had actually did make it. I don't think there was anything that didn't get shown except how tight like I was actually with Jamie and Eric and all of us starting to kind of build that relationship. I felt like that wasn't really shown and it was shown more as like I'm the outcast. So, as a matter of fact, you can see in a challenge once, I think you saw a clip of this once I got switched over to Fei Long and we were going into these houses. That was a challenge and we had to go grab something out of there. And there was a moment where like PG looks at me just to kind of make sure I'm still in tune with them. There was also a moment at another challenge where we're at the table. This is the one where you can see Jamie throwing something behind there. And like she's talking to me and we're like, we're still good, right? We're like, we had a plan, but nobody knew that we actually were tight together. So that part wasn't shown.
Yeah, because
It
on the
was always
show
made it
they
seem like I wasn't strategizing at all.
yeah, because on the show they made it seem like that you didn't acknowledge PG when she said that, but you had to have heard that, right?
Absolutely. And I kind of gave
Yeah.
her the look, but it wasn't like I could like full on have a conversation because we're moving so fast and people are kind of coming in there, but like giving her the look like, yeah, we're good.
How scary was that when you realized that you were like officially on Fei Long and you weren't going back to camp that night?
It was sad. It wasn't even scary. It was just kind of like, dang, like why? But it was a compliment to be selected by them
Yeah.
because of my challenge skills. But at the same time, it's like you're starting all over again. And those people had already built such a tight knit bond that it was really hard to kind of for me to like penetrate that. Now, Frosty brings a different skill set than I did when it came to challenges. So I think that's where he had like the leg up on me. And they just weren't as social FA long as we were as John Who.
If you made it to the merge, would you have stuck with your former tribe members, like, or do you think it still would have been the same outcome where Fei Long ultimately still overpowers John Hu in numbers?
I think they still would have overpowered us in number, but I would have definitely stuck with my people for sure because the bonds that I had over John Who were different. F.A. Long, I mean, I did. I had Courtney, I had Todd, but of course Todd had, a lot going on with people. So it would have been harder to kind of penetrate that, but I still feel like I would have been loyal for sure.
What was some of the like some of the hardest of the elements to get used to since it wasn't like your regular like day to day?
Yes. The hardest one was the rain. The first
Mm.
few nights. And that's where you kind of saw us like standing under like the little pergola kind of thing together.
Hmm.
That was very hard because you're just always wet out there and just like who sleeps outside in like a storm, you know what I mean? And then I think the other part was John Hu and Fei Long, the terrain was a little bit different at both camps.
Yeah.
And so I was used to John Hu, and then getting over to Fei Long, like just walking over to the lake was very different than the other one. And so kind of getting used to their shelter, that became hard. So it's like you're dealing with not only personalities, but then you're dealing with the elements as well. And the other thing that I don't even know how much this affected other people, but for me at night, I would put my thing on my ears and because I could hear the bugs, the mosquitoes.
Oh my God,
And
yes.
that was very hard for me. So to this day, I don't like anything in my ears at all.
Yeah, because like when like people in Survivor, like when you sleep, I can only imagine like if bugs crawl on y'all and stuff while you sleep, like that would literally terrify me.
Yeah, and you know what? That part, I mean, you have mosquitoes and stuff, but like other bugs and stuff, I personally, I don't think we had that as much. But the mosquitoes were insane. But hearing them, like it was really bad. And I mean, of course, the heat, but yeah, the rain when it rained there, it was like a monsoon out there. That was probably the hardest thing because it's like, what are you gonna do? Where are you going? And I think I realized that after day three, just in general, it was like, there's nowhere to go. So you have to play the game.
And y'all lived like in a mud pit pretty much. Because
Basically,
like in
yes.
that first episode, when you're walking up, like the heels getting stuck. And I remember back in the day, everybody used to be like, "No, why would she wear that on Survivor?" But y'all don't get to pick your clothes.
Exactly. And I still get that today. Every season when I post that picture video, people are like, why did you go out there in that? No, we don't get to pick our clothes. They tell you like pick something for press, pick something to work out in, pick something for this and that, and then they basically put it together for you. And they're like, this is what you're wearing out there. So it was the element of like being dropped off in the middle of nowhere with your clothes on.
Yeah, because they definitely they were playing games with you and Jamie.
Absolutely. The heels were crazy.
Yeah. When did y'all wait? Did y'all get your you got your shoes before the first challenge though, right?
Yes, we did. We got our shoes before then.
Yeah,
Thank
that first
God,
challenge.
because I wouldn't have made it.
I know. Right? What was it like when in the beginning, like when y'all were losing the challenges in the first like two episodes, like just back to back to back? Because see, to us, it just looks like three quick challenges, two episodes, not that bad. But to y'all were living that 24 hours a
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah, I think that was like what was hitting our morale and was like, we got to figure out what we can do. How do we win this? How do we, pull together to do this? And I think that's where like it brought us together closer too, because we're like, we want to win. We don't want to keep going out like this. So it made us tougher as a group.
Yeah. Is there like anything crazy that you were eating out there besides what we saw on TV?
No, I mean, I would say no because I do get asked that question all the time too, and I'm like, thank God, no. I do what was harder was the challenge, and I feel like that was part of like, okay, it's time for Sherea to go too. Is once I got switched over actually to Fei Long, the food challenge, and that was the one I had told myself I'm sitting out of this one. I'm not gonna do it. And I did sit out of that one. So because I just felt like I won't make it through. Like I can do a lot of things, but the food challenge. That's not for me. Like that 1,000 or 100, whatever. I don't know how many years it was. Old egg. I remember they had to eat that. But other than that, it was nothing too crazy. We went fishing and we got we can got. And you know what? When you're hungry, you almost eat anything. Almost,
Yeah.
almost.
Listen, I know about those old egg things, okay? Because I'm actually half Laotian. So I know that like that side of the family when I was growing up, I remember some of the older people, they would be eating these eggs that would be like
Really?
like black and green and stuff. And
Oh,
I would be sitting at the table and I would be like,
yeah, yeah, no, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was so glad to sit out that challenge. So glad.
yeah, the eating challenges would be like way too much for
Yes,
me at
no.
all. Now,
Mm-mm.
do you see like the challenges today, how like so much more advanced that they are? Like, do you ever wish that you had some of those kind of challenges on your season?
Honestly, I loved our challenges. I felt like they played into the elements of where we were, one in China. So no, I don't. Some of the challenges they do have now, though, like I just wonder how I would do that, because it's a level of stamina. But again, I think it goes back to mind over matter at the end of the day. I do think ours were more physical in a different way, like overall body, if that makes sense. Whereas some of them now, it's like, and no, don't get me wrong, because I'm not minimizing this at all. Like standing on one leg or toe or foot or whatever it is,
Yeah.
that takes a lot of strength, right? In a different type of way, is what I'm saying. And so no, I actually really loved our challenges, to be honest.
Yeah. So I can only imagine like the paranoia around camp, like that your name is being brought up,
Hmm.
but at it's you also need time to yourself and have time to like be by yourself from time to time. So like, was it ever hard to like walk away to be by yourself for a little bit to just have you time without worrying about your name being mentioned as soon as you walk away?
Absolutely. I don't think that thing called me time, to be honest. You never had that at all. And the paranoia does get with you very quickly, and you can just kind of watch people's body language, watch who goes off with who, and then you're just kind of left there sitting like, I wonder, or what do I do now? What can I say? So there was no me time out there at all.
Is there anybody on your team that you felt like was maybe like the over strategizer or just wanted to talk game way too much?
I wouldn't say on Jean Hu as much, but Fei Long, I felt like that's all they did. Like Jean Robert, he's always, plotting for the next thing. Um, I felt like, yeah, Fei Long did it much more than John Hu. And I'll say, like, I do remember hindsight's 2020. I remember it's like you're sitting right in plain sight. We're sitting by the fire. And I remember Todd getting up, and Amanda to get the idol, which was like literally right there above our heads. And we didn't even know that's what they were
That's
doing in plain sight.
crazy.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like, you had people that were thinking about it all the time. And then some of us were kind of like, in and out as far as like, is this the appropriate time to do it? When do I say it? Who do I walk off with? But there's just so many things running through your mind at any given time, and that you're just trying to keep up with all the elements.
When you got switched to Fei Long, how long did it take you to realize that John Robert was actually on the outs of that tribe? And that was
Very
some,
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the dynamics over there, you could see it. You could like cut the air with it when you got over there to know what was going on. And I think that like Todd and Courtney kind of put me up on game very quickly with what was happening over there. So, and you could just see it. I mean, it wasn't hard to tell. Like I said, they weren't as social as we were at Jean Hoot. And so you get over there and you could just see how, Jean Robert talks to people. You could see like everybody also had a role over there, and you kind of had to like figure out what yours was.
Yeah, because they seemed like a little bit more like, not that you guys weren't serious, but like they seemed like more of like, let's do some work around camp, or let's do this and let's do that. Like there was no like
Downtown?
a lot of haha laughing moments, like, oh my
That is
God, you
correct.
guys.
Yes, you're not wrong at all with that. That's why I said, like, I feel like everybody kind of had their roles, and like they get up every day and it's like, I'm going to get this and I'm going to do this. And everybody, and so you're just sitting around, me and Courtney would be like, toot, 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 like, what should we be doing right now? So, yeah, they were much more structured over there.
Did you bond with her pretty quick? Because I think Courtney is such a vibe. Like I feel like she would be my kind of people.
She did. And we bond, I always say we bonded over negativity, but you know what I mean? But we did, because it was like, who do we not like? And, what can we do? And I think that also, like, I became very protective over her and like how she may have been treated. And then it was vice versa the same way. And so, yeah, we did bond very quickly together.
Did you guys ever get like scared at night when you were sleeping? Like there's like animals running around, like you could hear things around you guys.
I wouldn't say scared in that sense. Like I was scared to not walk off by myself at night for sure. But scared just kind of laying there, being there, not as much. Like Survivor School kind of made you scared because you didn't know what was going to be out there. But I tried not to do too much wandering off at night. I do remember a time though, for a confessional when I was at John Hu and it was dark and they woke me up in the middle of the night and we ended up like sliding down the bank. Like that was a little scary for me. But other than that, as far as like animals and things, not as much as I thought it would be, I should say.
Yeah, because I think it was Leslie that told me that they never really had animals coming into the camp because that would be my biggest fear. I'm like, what is the protocol if like a tiger comes into camp? Because I don't know what to. A
Mhm.
cameraman better have something to help me.
Exactly, same way. But yeah, we didn't have any of that. Thank goodness.
Yeah. How long are y'all's confessionals when y'all get pulled away? Because I was told y'all have to go when they want
Oh
you.
yeah,
Like you
you do
can't
have
say
to go.
no.
You know what? Time is really not a thing out there. So it's like you don't know. You feel like it's quick, but it's probably longer, or vice versa. But I'd say there's long enough for them to get the information out of you that they want.
Oh my god. So they just
Mhm.
basically pry everything out of you whether you like it or
Yes, because
not.
you know they know everything that's happening. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because
Hmm.
I asked another survivor, I was like, because obviously they're working. So they gotta have like their lunch breaks and things. Like, do they ever like if they have like a snack in front of you guys or like walk off and you see them eating like a protein bar or
No,
something?
not definitely not in my season. I don't know what they do in, in the latest seasons, of course, but not in our season at all. We didn't see any of that. They didn't talk to us. They didn't tell us anything. They were just there. And you do at some point, you gotta get used to it. And just, I think like after a couple of days, you kind of like take the mask off yourself too. And you're like, what else am I gonna do? Like this is part of the game and they're here and you just gotta roll with it.
Were you ever just like whenever you would just like be chilling around camp, like just ever like take your mind off the game for like a few seconds and just realize like where you were and get the scenery and just feel like so blessed to be there?
Absolutely. I think, like I said, after a couple of days, after the shock wears off that you're out here, then you do kind of settle in and you're just like, let me enjoy this experience that I have out here and make the best of it for sure.
Have you been back to China since your season?
I actually have. Yeah, I went back probably within the last 10 years or so, went back to China, and went back to Hong Kong and a couple other parts. So yeah, I have, surprisingly. So I never
Is the
thought I would go back.
place is the place where y'all's camp was, is that able to be visited or is that like marked off land that like people don't they can't
I
go
don't think I would
to?
ever be able to get back to where the actual camp is, to be honest. No.
Oh, that's
Um,
so interesting.
yeah, no, and especially after this long, no, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So when you got to Ponderosa after you got voted out, what was that adjustment like? Because they say that everybody's always like, you want to eat a bunch, but you get really sick from it. And
Hmm.
then you're around all the people that maybe you helped vote out and things like
Yeah.
that. Like, how awkward is that?
You know what? So because I was the last pre-juror, mine was really quick, meaning like I came off and the next day we actually left to go kind of on our trip. And so it wasn't until probably a few days later that we were starting to really have conversation. And now Leslie and I would, because we were actually roommates, so we would probably talk more. But it wasn't until like after a few days when we kind of got settled and then we would start having conversations at dinner or things like that because we knew, up 3 days, somebody's going to be voted off. So for me, I wouldn't say it was necessarily awkward because I think at that point, while I think everybody dealt with things differently, right? And how they processed the game and afterwards. I think for me, it was just kind of like more of like whew, okay, I made it through. I'm proud of myself. Like now what's next? You know what I mean? And now this is really where I'm kind of like enjoying the time being out of the game, but you can't help but think about it. And I also don't think I left with any like bad blood or like feeling like I didn't accomplish something. And so for me, it was more of like, I'm happy to talk about it. This was my experience. This is what it was, but I wasn't angry about anything.
Was there anyone there, like in your Ponderosa group, when y'all were even on your vacation trip? Was there anyone there that you could tell, even though they were having a nice time, like they were still just kind of like maybe like just felt kind of defeated because they were voted out?
Yeah, I mean, you could see that from Dave for sure, and a couple of the guys more so. And I know Leslie definitely had to kind of process hers too. But I would say that we didn't talk about it like on a daily basis every hour of the day. It wasn't like the focal point. I really think we all were just like really trying to enjoy the trip and we're like bonding together in a different way than we did beforehand. And so I would say they were actually a pleasant group to be with, and it just felt like different energy afterwards.
How long was your trip for before y'all went home?
A good 3 weeks, I think.
Wow.
Because I was gone a total of 7 weeks. So probably about 3 weeks of travel. Leslie or
Where all
somebody
did
has
you
to
guys
correct me
go?
on
And
that.
where all did you guys go for your vacation?
Yeah, you would ask me that. And it's funny because I have a journal with like some of the locations. And I think Leslie and I were talking about this. There's some that she knows more than I do. I know we went to Shanghai and did we do Beijing? Shanghai and Beijing. And then we did two other smaller places. Hangzhou, and maybe one other one that I have journaled. It was really cool though, I have to say. Like We got massages every day. Well, Leslie and I did. The
Oh,
guys
that's
would
so
go off and do
nice.
other things. We got to go shopping. We had a per diem. And then we just got to experience parts of China that you probably would never have done without being with the show. I remember a place we stayed in was so nice, and we had like an outdoor shower, and seeing like the markets on the street and stuff. It was pretty cool. Like we got the best of both worlds. Like we were on the show, but then you got this amazing trip, which I heard they don't even do anymore. So I have to confirm with somebody. This amazing trip around China.
Does production film that for you just for your own personal keepsake for you guys?
No. Mm-mm. What we did was we did have cameras though at the time. Of course, disposable cameras. So we were able to capture some of those memories, and some of them we did get back and some we didn't.
Do you wish social media was like what it is today during your season?
A little bit because like clearly there was no social media except for I think Facebook at the time. That was like the only thing that we had. And so I feel like now there's so many people like friends that I have when I post it that they still don't even know that I was on Survivor. And they really didn't weren't able to really experience it with me at that time. And because of social media, now everybody can experience. And so it's cool that I can tell this story about it, but I think it's like a different level of energy. But then it's like also the survivors back then were really considered celebrities when they came off the
Hmm.
show. Not that they're not now, but just a different level of celebrity at that point. And so it's kind of a catch-22. I think for me, it's more of like I just wish more people were able to experience it with me because now it's so long ago, and you start to feel like nobody remembers you at some point. And so it's nice when I see fans and stuff, and they do remember me and they do remember the season, and it's like okay, like it meant something to some people, even though it was my journey. I think social media would just brought a different level of exposure.
Yeah, like I remember like so many of you guys because your era up into maybe like season 20, that's
Hmm.
like my favorite era of Survivor. Like I
Hmm.
love Survivor all the seasons, but 1 to 20 is like where it's at for me because I grew up on that. It was such a
Yeah.
different time
Hmm.
and we didn't have stuff like Paramount Plus back then. So you had to be home to watch
To
these
watch it.
episodes. So it
Yes.
meant a lot to watch these episodes unless you DVR'd it. And if you had DVR, you were bougie.
Absolutely. You're so right. I mean, people came together for watch parties and all the things back then. I think the part that I miss the most about those seasons, though, are the elements of the location.
Yes.
That's what made it so great.
Yeah, because now it's always in Fiji. Not that I don't, I love seeing Fiji. I really do. I'd love
Yeah.
to go there, but
Yeah.
I miss the random locations because they would take them to places that I've never heard of in my life.
Exactly. And they brought those elements into the game, and I think that those things really played a part into the game too. You know what I mean? And it may sound like something small, but like think about it in China, we weren't on a beach. And they're on Fiji, they're on a beach. And I think just that element and what we had to deal with versus what they deal with, that plays into the game as well.
They say it like on Survivor because you spend so much time with the people that are on there. Do you, is there anybody like on your season that you got so close to inevitably that you're closer to them than like some people who were in your life before the game?
Hmm. So I will say this too. I am a little envious of some of the all the later seasons because I do feel like they're all closer. And I don't know if that is the social media aspect. I don't know what aspect that is or like keeping in touch. So I will say for a long time, me, Jamie, Eric, and Leslie were all very tight. Like I literally have been to their houses to stay. They've been to my home. And so for a number of years we were all tight. I was at Jamie and Eric's wedding. So I think, just kind of life and time and being, in separate places kind of, creates distance, but the love is still there. But I do wish as a cat, our cast as a whole, I wish we were tighter. And again, I don't know why that is. I wonder it's just the element of time and, that period, or is it social media or what it is? But I do like love that, and age too. I don't know if that's plays a part in it too, but I do love that the later seasons are all tighter.
Yeah, and like the people that go on the show now, they get like these big followings on social media after the show. It makes me wonder, like, because like for example, somebody from like season 49 can start the season with like maybe 1,000 people followers on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram. By the end of the season, they got like 50,000 followers, and
Absolutely.
then
Yep.
it makes me wonder, like during y'all season, if social media was what it is now, if that would have taken y'all on different paths because
I
everybody
know.
would have blown up in their own ways.
Yes, yes. I wonder that too. Like, but what's meant to be is meant to be. But I definitely think it probably would have taken us in some different, paths for sure.
But you're part of the era that people want to see because during
Mm-hmm.
the when 50 got announced, a lot of people were disappointed at some of that. It was half all people from 41 and up, and then they only
Hmm.
had 12 of the people from the first 40 seasons to choose
Yeah.
from. So the pool was much more smaller. I was like,
Hmm.
there's so many more OG people that we would love to see
No, I
again.
know. And it would have been dope to have somebody from our season on there too.
Oh my gosh, yes. But then when they
Hmm.
bring people back from your season, like for example, when they brought Courtney back for Heroes versus Villains, I was so excited to see her again.
I
But
know.
the editors acted like she wasn't there half the
Hmm.
time.
I mean, you got to give the people what they want, I should say, at the time, or they don't. I think that's again the difference in like some of the old school seasons. I feel like we all got like some camera time or some action depending on what's happening. And now, like, it takes that character development may take a minute for some people.
Yeah. Did you have like what was your strategy going in?
I did not have one.
That's so me.
That's why I said I felt like I was so naive because um I just didn't. I mean, I watched the show, but I never thought I would be on the show. And because mine happened so fast, like I didn't have time to prepare to really go out there, you know what I mean, for the game. So my strategy was to survive and just do the best that I can. And I think probably day 3 though is when it kicked in for me like you can do this. You know what I mean? And so that would scare me just going back out there like, Sheree, can you do this? Can you really strategize and do this? I mean, I'm sure I could, but just watching it now is so different than playing it, which, for anybody, it's very different when you're actually out there and you have all these things that you think you want to do and how you're going to be, and then it just goes out the window. But I felt like my strategy was to survive and do the best that I could do.
I know that's right. That would just be me. I'm just trying to get by each day. And as
Hmm.
long as it ain't me, I guess it don't matter who goes, as long as
That's
it
it
ain't
right
me.
there. And I just wanted to win.
When you guys are like chilling around camp and stuff like that, like do producers ever get involved if you're like chilling a little too much and they say, hey, y'all need to be doing something because remember this is a TV show?
Not for us. You know what? I could see them doing that now, but I don't, not for us. They were long days of doing nothing out there. But no, they did not get involved in like getting up to do something. And I just think that at that time, they just kind of let things happen more naturally. That doesn't mean that they weren't like doing things behind the scenes in our confessionals, you know what I mean? But I think we had enough like drama of elements of drama in other aspects that I mean, they clearly made it a thing with me just being lazy, right? And so they didn't have to
Yeah.
kind of make that up in any other way.
Did y'all see the same people day to day in your camp? Was it the same people that were like assigned to y'all's tribe? Like you got to know their
Yes,
names and stuff?
yes, mm-hmm. Yep. You get to know your producer and the people that are out there very closely.
Is it hard to like not talk to them when you get bored? Because I can, it seems so like mind boggling to just be chilling in your camp and there's people just
Hmm.
standing there watching you the
Yeah.
whole
Well,
time.
for us though, at that time, it was only one cameraman or producer out there at a time. So the only time
Wow.
that you had multiple people was when it was a challenge. So it was just like they were just there. And so again, you just kind of get so used to it. And I mean, what are we going to talk about? They're not going to talk to you. So, you're just there. But of course, you may have
Yeah.
those that are kind of jokesters and try to do things, but like, no, you just like waiting for the next thing to happen.
Yeah. Or
Hmm.
did y'all like sing songs or anything like that? Like you were allowed to sing or anything?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, as John Who, we had more fun. If Fei Long, it was long days of sitting like this. Just waiting. But I felt like again, as John Who, we got to know each other a lot more. Um, and just be more social with each other.
What is it like the dynamic in camp, regardless of who leaves when somebody leaves your camp? Because is it really almost like losing a family member? Like even when y'all lost Dave, like was that still different going back to camp, being like it sucks to lose somebody still?
Yeah, it sucks to lose somebody, but then just the energy is different because everybody brings a different level of energy, right? And so even when Dave was gone, it was like, whoo, it was like a breath of fresh air, but you still have a missing piece. You know what I mean? Because although he got on my nerves, he still brought a different element to the camp because you knew he was a hard worker and he was going to do certain things that the rest of us weren't doing. So now we have to fill those gaps in. So I think
Yeah.
it's like that with anybody. Yeah. I mean, and just going to tribal is just hard in general. It's like it's the end of somebody's dream there, that's happening and you're going back to camp and you're a little sad. And especially if it wasn't someone that you wanted to go, that just definitely changes the energy and vibe.
Were you able to keep your survivor torch?
No, do not have my
Yours got
torch.
sold at the auction.
Would love to have my torch, but no. I do have my water canteen though and my bag, but not the torch.
Do you still have your outfit that you had out there?
I sure do. Yep. All of that in the bag
Yeah.
upstairs. I know. I keep saying I'm going to put it in a shadow box and I have yet to do it, but I do have everything together.
Do you ever look at it from time to time just to reminisce?
I sure do. Every now and then I'll pull it back out and kind of just sniff it a little bit and see if it still gives me that, aura to it. And then I'll just go through it just to kind of remember what I've had. And sometimes because somebody asked me about it too, I may go back to my bag and just kind of, but it's tucked away in a little closet, but I definitely go back to it periodically.
Do you still have any of your buffs?
I do. I have two of my buffs. Yes. I
Yes.
know. I was like, these are memories. I got to keep this stuff.
Yeah, because like I know like when the shows were over, like they would always like auction stuff off, and I'm like, why don't they just give that to the people that were on the show? Because
I
I
know.
talked to one, her name's Ashley from Samoa. She
Mm-hmm.
tracked down her torch. They found the person who bought it, and they were able to get it.
Really?
They got it back from them.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
I should try to do that too. Yeah, no. And that's why I'm kind of glad I left with some of the stuff that I did because otherwise I wouldn't have anything because I would sell it all
yeah.
off.
Like, do they actually like check your bags and stuff when you leave to see what you're taking with you?
No, they did not check our bag at all. So, because I think Leslie and them asked me this. It was a towel that I had gotten that I kept with me and I didn't give back to them. And I'm kind of glad I still have that too. But no, they didn't check his. Whatever you leave with was what you left with at that time.
Wow.
hmm And I mean, like the
So
canteen is something I mean, if I auction it off, somebody would buy it. It's really nice, but it's mine.
yeah, because that's
Mhm.
like part of like reality TV history.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you when is the last time you've watched any of your season back? Like how often do you ever watch your season? And do you watch it with like any friends that have never seen it?
Probably like once a year or two because somebody maybe new hasn't seen it or they want to watch it. And I typically only watch the first few like episodes or so, but I don't like watch the entire thing. So it's been a number of years since I watched the entire season. But I'll always watch a couple episodes every couple years or so.
So because you're a fan of the show and had watched it prior, who were some of your favorite players, like favorite seasons before you got on there?
Before I got on there, Earl was one of my favorite players. Gosh, you've really taken me back.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. And not even before like Suri, of course, has always been a favorite
Yes.
player. Um, Africa, I mean, it's the first, like those were like the seasons that I actually like watched and like was like, oh wow, people are really doing this. There was a couple other people. I just think like the earlier seasons, I was more a fan of like just the overall game. And so even appreciated people who like reached out to me right before I went on there, which I think is different in the preparation now is because everybody knows each other too. And so you can find people and kind of prepare in that way. Whereas social media didn't allow us that at that time. But Earl definitely was one of my favorites early on.
Oh yeah, and I'm surprised he's never come back. I don't
I
know if I'm
know.
sure something may have been negotiated, just may not worked out, but I'm surprised he's never come back.
Yep, yep, because he was a really good player. Yeah.
Yeah, Fiji's like one of the seasons that like to me I don't feel like it gets enough love sometimes.
I agree. I agree. And so it's always nice though to be around fans and they kind of remind you too of those previous seasons and like still give people the respect. T-Bird, I love her to death. And so she's always been a favorite too. But yeah, all the early seasons, I don't know, I love everybody that, was on there. So it was so nice to watch some of them too on 50 too, because I hadn't seen some people and it's like there's so many of us now at this point. And so just like remembering people's games and remembering their seasons and just kind of getting to know them as people.
Yeah, I can tell you somebody, me and like a lot of my close friends that love Survivor really
hmm
want to see back from those early days, is we really want to see Vesepia come back.
Oh, she is so lovely
We
too.
would
That
love
would
for her to
be
come back.
so cool for her to come back. She would love that too. That's a good one.
Vesepia, if you see this, please
hmm
read your DMs on
That's a good one.
Instagram.
Yes.
I'm begging.
Ramona too is one of my favorites.
Yes, that first
hmm
season was so intriguing. I remember
Yes,
it was such a phenomenon.
absolutely. Yeah. It was some
Yeah,
really
the
good. Yeah. Those early ones were so good.
because you started from the very first season, right?
Yes, I did. Yep. So that
Yeah.
was what was cool about somebody saying, "You want to go in Survivor?" I'm like, I mean, I guess I'll try out for it. Like you never really think about it, but sure.
So how has the game changed your life that has it still impacts you today?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the two things that I always say is that I've learned is like again, mind over matter. Like you can do anything that you put your mind to. And then eat to live, not live to eat. That's something that I really learned. And like you take certain things for granted every day. And when you're out there, those elements, those are things that you can't take for granted, right? And this is just like understanding and having empathy for people. those are things that I just carry with me to this day because they're, you're dropped off on an island with people that you may never ever come across in real life. People that you have that have different backgrounds. You don't know that you have something in common yet, and then you find these common threads. And so I definitely carry that with me. Like, don't judge a book by its cover, and just respect people and have empathy for people because everybody has a story.
Yeah. Because I think one of your season, maybe Gabon, is one of the last ones
Hmm.
where everybody had like a little introduction as to who you are, what you do for a living, and things like that. And at the
Yes,
time, you were a teacher,
I was. Yes.
but you're not a teacher anymore.
No, I stopped teaching a while ago.
So what do you do? What do you do now? Because your Instagram says like doctor on it.
Yes, so I got my doctorate about 4 years ago, and then I've been working in sports since then. So I worked for a sports academy for boys basketball. Now I'm now into kind of the business side of things, helping athletes manage their day-to-day life and their business and financial side of life. So I've switched over, but always a teacher at heart because it's like about helping people in general. So I still not, even though I'm not in the classroom anymore, I'm still a teacher at heart in all that I do. So it's just interesting how life has changed, yeah, since then. But always it's fun that I was able to experience that with my students at the time. I would say that's pretty cool. And to this day, they still like remember that.
Yeah, like what's that feeling of people that still come up to you after all these years? Because y'all season is like, I refuse to acknowledge how long ago it was because it wasn't that
Right?
long. Okay, it wasn't.
Exactly. I was just that age.
But to still be recognized after all this time, like that's one thing I love about social media is that
Mhm.
I was able to like find everybody from the past. Like I'm able to
Yes.
find all you guys on
And
there.
it's so funny because my handle is Survivor Riri. So a lot of people can't find me because it's not my first and my last name. And then people that don't know about Survivor, they think I survived something else. And so I
Yeah.
have to explain like why my name is my name on there. But it just was really cool or is really cool when people do remember you and they say like China's my favorite or you're one of my favorite players. I will tell you this, I had a student, one of my players actually in the last couple years, his little brother is like 9 years old now, and he watched Survivor and went back to watch the seasons. And even he came up to me and was like, "You were a challenge beast." And so it's just really nice to know like you impact people in ways that you never imagined. And then just for people to remember you and remember your season, it's a pretty cool feeling because they don't have social media in the same way now that we had it, to go back to. And so that means that they've really made an effort to watch you or to understand you because sometimes fans they know more about you than you know about yourself sometimes. And so just when I mean, listen, I'll go to a party and people remember and I'm just like, thank you. That's all I can say is just thank you. It definitely means something.
Do you still go to like a lot of Survivor events now?
Yeah, I mean, I always go to the ones that they have in Atlanta. Of like Bryson when do something, I go to their events. When Ron Clark does something, I go to his event. And so those are like my staple events. I used to do some really cool ones back in the day too. Like we had dodgeball tournaments and all kind of things. So
Oh, that's
it's
fun.
always nice when someone invites you out to be a part of it.
Do you ever wish your season was something like because Ron Clark was from Edge of Extinction, right? Do
Yes.
you ever wish your season had something like that? Would you have gone to Edge of Extinction?
No, I've been scared. Actually, there are so many things that I'm glad we did not have. Like I who was it that was out there and spent most of her time on Exit Extinction more than
Reem,
Reem? Yes. No, thank you.
she
No,
was
thank
voted
you.
out first and spent the entire time
Yes, the
out there.
entire time out there. She's so cool in person, by the way. But
Yeah.
no, I'm very glad we did not have that element at all.
Yeah, and speaking of being nice, like everybody's been like so cool. Like reaching out the Survivor community has just been like so cool because like I didn't even think anybody would say yes to coming on my show. I was like,
Really?
listen, my little show is iconic. Okay, I may not have a million
Yeah.
followers,
That's
but it's
okay, but you bring
fun.
the energy and it's fun. Yes, and I'm sure people get asked to do these things so much. You know what I mean? I do feel a sense of obligation because, if somebody took the time to reach out to me to ask me to do it, I think it's, worthwhile for me to make that happen for sure.
Yeah, because everybody, like all the survivors, they've been like so cool about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, but like the survivor community has just been like so cool. Like everybody's just been
Yeah.
like so
I mean,
fun.
these are also very like therapeutic too. And like, there's sometimes like I have friends that do not care anything about Survivor. And so I can't talk Survivor with them, right? And so you have the element of like, I want to be able to talk about it sometimes with people who get it and understand it and watch it. And so it's just a nice way to like reconnect too with the Survivor community.
Do you have any friends that have made it on the show that you know, like people that have been casted that you actually knew prior?
No, none of my friends are interested in Survivor at all. It would be so cool though, and I have so many people that I think would be great at it. But no, none of my friends are into well, they're into, the reality TV world, but that's one that they're like, I don't think I could do that.
Did anybody think you were like nuts for going on Survivor? Because my friends think I'm crazy for wanting to go. They're like, you are not going to do well in there. And I'm like, don't underestimate me.
Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't a matter of like not doing well. It was just like, how are you going to do out there? I remember my mom saying, like, you shower too much. How are you going to make it out there? I was like, I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. I was
Yeah, I'm
scared for
like,
myself.
yeah, I'm like an AC king. Like I have to have AC. I cannot function without my AC.
Listen,
It's
well,
got to be a blizzard.
now they get a little sunscreen and they get some stuff behind the scenes. We didn't get any of those things.
Y'all
So it's a lot
didn't
more
get
careful.
sunscreen?
No sunscreen, no
What?
water, no what's some other stuff that they get? I mean, just nothing. We
Wait a
got
minute. Y'all
nothing.
didn't have, because I know you said y'all got water behind the scenes,
But that was
but
after one challenge. That's it.
oh, I was like, so wait, so y'all didn't have a water source?
We had a water source, yes, but after the challenge,
Oh,
they
okay,
brought
okay,
us
okay.
water. And that was just after that one challenge, and that was it.
I can only imagine what boiled water tastes like. I don't even, I can't.
See what I'm saying? Mind over matter, and you're thirsty. So
Oh my gosh.
there's no Gatorade or electrolytes and things waiting for us. There was none of that for us.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've lost track of my timer, but I think I've had you for almost an hour. So I don't want to keep you too much longer.
Yes, I've enjoyed it.
I know, Mitchell. This has been so fun. Like you've been one of my favorite ones ever for like,
Oh, thank
yes, like
you.
all the ones that I've reached out to, like y'all. I'm so glad that everybody's saying this. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're gonna talk to me. Because I
Yes.
would have died. I would have died for this back in the day. But we didn't have social media to reach out to you guys.
Exactly.
We
I
didn't.
know.
You had to like see you guys at events and
Right.
stuff.
That's it. Exactly.
Yeah. So social media has been like a blessing to be able to find
For
everybody.
sure.
But it's sometimes stuff gets lost in the sauce because my DMs are a mess right
I'm
now. I
sure.
promise
Yes.
you they're a hot
Yes.
mess. I'm
Well,
like, I'm
thank
so sorry,
you.
everybody.
Yeah, but thanks for just like reaching out to me, keeping this going and make sure that it happened. I'd love to join you again as a new season approaches. And like, it was just a
Yes.
pleasure to talk to you.
Yes. Thank you so, so much. And you have to come back one day.
Will do.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Bye.
Talk soon.